Hi guys, welcome back to Echoes of Time. Today, we're diving into the incredible secrets of ancient Egypt, from pharaohs and pyramids to lost civilizations that shaped our world. The desert that remembers. In a land where shadows stretch for miles across a sleeping desert, where the wind whispers through dunes older than memory, where the night sky glows with the same stars ancient eyes once gazed upon, there lies a kingdom carved not in time, but in eternity. This is Egypt, the land that invented civilization, the nation that built the impossible, the empire that challenged death and almost won, the river that created a world. Long before kings wore crowns of gold, long before temples rose like mountains, before monuments touched the heavens, there was only one force powerful enough to breathe life into the desert: the Nile. Every year, the river rose. Every year, it left behind rich black soil. And in that soil, life began. Farmers planted wheat, barley, flax. Villages grew, families multiplied, trade flourished, hope became real. To the ancients, the Nile was not just water, it was destiny. Without the Nile, there would be no Egypt, no pyramids, no pharaohs, no stories, no legends. The river was the heartbeat of a civilization that refused to die. The first crown, birth of a kingdom. 5,000 years ago, the Nile Valley was divided into two worlds. Upper Egypt, the southern lands. Lower Egypt, the fertile delta. They were different realms, different crowns, different traditions, until a young, determined warrior king rose from the south. His name was Narmer. He marched north with an army forged by ambition and unified the two lands with force and vision. His victory was so significant that it marked the beginning of history itself. Narmer wore a double crown, red and white, symbolizing one nation under one ruler. This was the moment Egypt was born. A kingdom with laws, leadership, order, ambition, and a dream stretching beyond life itself. The dream of eternity. The invention of hieroglyphics, words of the gods. Before Egypt, people spoke, but they did not write. Egypt changed that. They invented a system where words became pictures, and pictures carried power. These were hieroglyphics, symbols of animals, eyes, feathers, suns, stars, serpents, thrones. Written by hand, written on stone, written for kings, written for gods. Scribes trained for years to master this sacred language. Through hieroglyphics, Egypt recorded victories, rituals, dreams, fears, and the eternal legacy of their rulers. Hieroglyphics were more than writing. They were magic, the power to make a name live forever. The age of pyramids, reaching for the impossible. Around 2700 BCE, a pharaoh named Djoser commanded something never attempted before: a tomb that would defy death. His architect, Imhotep, a genius far ahead of his time, designed a structure that transformed history. The Step Pyramid of Saqqara. It wasn't just a tomb, it was a declaration, a message across time that Egypt had risen. But Egypt was only beginning its age of glory. Soon, under kings like Sneferu, Egypt perfected the art of engineering. They experimented with angles, stone weight, structure, mathematics, and finally, they created perfection. The Great Pyramid of Giza, built for Pharaoh Khufu. 2.3 million stone blocks, some weighing over 70 tons. A base so perfect it deviates less than inches. Alignment to the cardinal directions with near astronomical precision. Even today, its engineering remains unmatched. Pause. Who built them? How did they do it? And what knowledge have we lost? The pyramids remain silent, but their existence answers one truth. Egypt dreamed bigger than any civilization before or after. The Sphinx, the guardian of eternity. At Giza, carved from one colossal block of limestone, lies a creature with a lion's body and a human face. The Great Sphinx. Its eyes stare across the desert, unmoving, unblinking, as if guarding secrets buried deep beneath the sands. We still do not know who carved it, why it was built, what it was meant to protect, or what chambers lie below. For thousands of years, sand buried its body. Its nose was shattered. Its paint faded. But its power remains untouched. The Sphinx is not a statue. It is a question. A question Egypt has never answered. The gods, light and darkness. Egyptian religion was a universe, rich, symbolic, powerful. Every god represented a force of nature. Ra, the sun; Osiris, the resurrection; Isis, magic; Horus, protection; Anubis, death; Thoth, wisdom; Set, chaos. The pharaoh was believed to be the son of the gods, ruling as their representative on earth. Egyptians didn't just worship gods, they lived with them. Morning was not sunrise, it was Ra reborn. Floods were not nature, they were Hapi, the river god. Death was not an end, it was a journey. A dangerous one. The underworld. Journey through the darkness. The afterlife was the center of Egyptian belief. They believed that when a person died, their soul began a perilous journey through the Duat, the underworld. A world filled with monsters, lakes of fire, gates guarded by serpents, trials of judgment. Guided by Anubis, the soul approached the final test, the weighing of the heart. If your heart was lighter than the feather of Ma'at, you lived forever. If your heart was heavy with sin, it was devoured by a terrifying creature called Amit. To protect their souls, Egyptians created mummification, a science of preserving the body for thousands of years. Their preparations for the afterlife pushed Egypt to advance medicine, anatomy, chemistry, art, ritual practice. Death became the fuel that shaped their world. The Middle Kingdom, Age of Culture. After times of conflict, Egypt entered a golden period of peace and creativity. This was the era of literature, architecture, philosophy, trade, diplomacy. Stories like The Tale of Sinuhe and The Shipwrecked Sailor flourished. Artists perfected sculpture, murals, and pottery. Temples expanded. Trade linked Egypt to Africa, Mesopotamia, Crete, and Arabia. The Middle Kingdom was Egypt's renaissance, a time of rebirth. The New Kingdom, age of empires. This was Egypt at its peak, the era of giants. Hatshepsut, the queen who became king. She ruled with intelligence and strategy. She built massive temples, including the breathtaking temple of Deir el-Bahari. Her reign was peaceful, prosperous, and groundbreaking. Thutmose III, the warrior pharaoh. He never lost a battle. He expanded Egypt's borders farther than any ruler before him. An unstoppable general. Akhenaten, the rebel. He changed religion, worshipping one god, Aten. He overturned traditions older than time. His reign caused turmoil and transformation. Nefertiti, the queen of beauty. Her face became the symbol of elegance. Her power rivaled that of kings. Tutankhamun, the boy king, restored ancient gods. Died young, but his tomb, found untouched, became the most iconic discovery in archaeology. Ramesses II, the Great, a king whose name echoes across the world. He built temples, statues, cities. He fought in the Battle of Kadesh. He signed the world's first peace treaty. Ramesses ruled for 66 years. His legacy is immortal. The decline, shadows over the kingdom. Even the greatest empires fall. Egypt suffered from weak rulers, internal corruption, invasions, economic pressure, powerful enemies. The Libyans invaded. The Nubians rose. The Assyrians struck with brutal force. The Persians conquered. And finally, Rome arrived. By the time Cleopatra rose to power, Egypt was no longer a mighty empire. It was a kingdom struggling against giants. Cleopatra, the last pharaoh. Intelligent, charismatic, fluent in 9 languages, a brilliant political strategist. She allied with Julius Caesar, then with Mark Antony. She fought to keep Egypt independent, but fate was against her. Rome crushed her forces. Her kingdom fell. In 30 BCE, Cleopatra ended her life rather than submit. With her death, 3,000 years of pharaohs came to an end. Egypt became a Roman province. But the story was not over, not even close. What Egypt left behind? A legacy of eternity. Egypt changed the world. It gave humanity monumental architecture, advanced medicine, mathematics and astronomy, symbolic art, a complex writing system, organized government, intricate religion, timeless myths, mysteries still unsolved. The pyramids still stand, the Sphinx still watches, the Nile still flows, and the legacy of Egypt still shapes our world. Civilizations rise and fall, but legends live forever. The kingdom that refused to die. In the silence of a desert night, in the shadows of colossal monuments, in the wind that sweeps across forgotten sands, Egypt still breathes. A civilization that refused the darkness, a people who dreamed of eternity, a kingdom that carved its destiny in stone. That's all for today's journey into ancient Egypt on Echoes of Time. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment below which part amazed you the most. Stay tuned for our next adventure into history.